So it's kind of weird. I think in a way, how we best attract love into our life again is almost not needing it. It's kind of like what you resist persists. If you resist being single, it's probably going to last a lot longer.
Did you push record?
Thanks for tuning in again to Our Second Act with Paige and Silka. Daryl Gurney is back with us for another segment on relationships and getting back out on the dating scene after 40, 50, and well, after midlife, really, Daryl. Thanks for joining me again.
Yeah, thank you, Silka.
Daryl, we just finished two segments that we will link to, that address the questions of, are there good men and women out there? So many people are disappointed, at this time. They're scared to get back out there. They're afraid of getting hurt, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things that I really want to hone in on this segment is, how do we get back out there? How do we prepare ourselves and make sure that we really are available and ready to find love after 50?
Yeah. It's interesting. It just came to me that this really fits a model that I have in my Back 40 Renewal program. And it's an online program that really talks about how to make transitions powerfully when someone has died, when a relationship has ended, when there's been a layoff or something like that. And I think in our other segments, we've really been talking about it in the same sense, in that I call it the Trough of Transition, where something happens and first there's shock. So, you may have been hurt by he left for a younger woman, or, someone cheated on you, or whatever. There's the shock of things that occur. Then there's the anger and the sadness that come after that. But as part of the anger, there's the, what did I do wrong? What did he do wrong? What did she do wrong? What's wrong with relationships as a whole? Mm-hmm. So anyhow, there's this whole trough one travels. And like I said, at the bottom is sadness, because things are going to be different, or we're not going to be with that person anymore. And too often on the left side of the trough of transition, I call it the victim side. Too many people stay over there.
Yeah. Lots of people
stay on the victim side. Now, the truth is, what's great to know is that there's another side to the trough, okay? And one of the things we talked about in an earlier segment is, well, what if all that hurt and everything that came about, what if there were actually blessings in that? What if you could look at every one of the relationships, even the one that cheated on you, even the one that, I don't want to get too dark here, but, a lot of, quote, bad stuff happens to people, right? Well, how did that, what if you could find blessings in there where it's pointing you to becoming who you came here to be, and it's actually giving you more oomph to go out there and become something, that you want to be, well, you can start finding blessings. When we can really, I don't even want to say the word complete, but when we can kind of own what's happened to us as part of a process for us to really live a bigger life and a better life, then it drops the victim and we start getting curious again. Yeah. And I think curiosity is the key to finding love again.
Yeah.
It's when you've dropped the baggage of the hurt and everything, and you can actually see it as perfect practice. That was the perfect practice marriage. That was the perfect practice relationship. And now I can get curious. Number one, I know more about myself. Maybe I know more what I'm into, what I'm interested in. And then we start exploring based on curiosity. One thing you got to do is you got to get yourself available, right? Because unfortunately, you can change your attitude and beliefs all you want, but if you're staying in your house, unless you fall asleep and who is it? Snow White, someone came in and, woke her up or something. I don't know that Prince Charming's going to bust down your door. Right. You got to get out there.
Exactly. And I think that's where also what I hear on this platform a lot. When people, oh, well, I've tried, I did online dating, and after 3 dates, it was like, oh my God, they were horrible. And, there is a thing about keep trying and don't get discouraged so fast. You don't go to one meetup and, oh, there was nobody there that I really want. It is a process to keep going and to keep living.
Right. And we don't know that those who said, I tried it and it just didn't work, we don't know that they cleaned up their attitude before they started playing. So one of the things that everyone should do is look at the last two episodes. It's really critical to do the attitude cleanup, right? Because you're going to get more of whatever you believe. It's what you bring to the table. That's what you've been saying.
Yeah.
But the point being is, if you've done your attitude cleanup, I think at 40, 50, 60, I think we're more attuned, or what interests me? What interests me now? And so I think doing an inventory rather than I got to go find somebody. So it's kind of weird. I think in a way, how we best attract love into our life again is almost not needing it. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I mean, if we're wearing it on our sleeves and we're getting on the dating sites and it's like, I got to find this person, it's kind of like what you resist persists. If you resist being single, it's probably going to last a lot longer versus, okay, I'm a single person. What am I into? What interests me? What do I want to explore? And if you've cleaned up your attitude, you're actually available and you're doing the evidence work that I talked about in one of the other segments. And you're out in the fields doing things that interest you, the meetups that interest you, the kind of groups that interest you, the kind of activities and stuff like that. It's really interesting how the universe starts to, bring people there almost in spite of you not needing it.
Yeah, it's interesting, when I speak to you and then of course, Paige and other experts, in this field, the one common thread that always comes up is that whatever you believe you will create. And people have heard this, over and over again, but gosh, it is so true. And if you take responsibility and own whatever, you're here for a reason and you're responsible for where you are, no matter how anybody else had hurt you. Once you accept that, things just change.
Yeah, and it's funny, the word, when people hear the word responsible, they hear a lot of other words. They hear it's my fault or I did something wrong or whatever like that. Responsibility is actually a gift.
Exactly.
To be able to look at your past from a place of ownership, like, wow, I attracted that guy into my life so that I would see my own value, so that I would grow my own voice, so that I would learn, that I don't have to have somebody, that's bringing in all the money, that I can make it on my own. And then you start to look at it all as a gift. Then guess what? There's nobody to blame. You're responsible in the sense that you own it. You caused it all. Guess what? That gives you the power to cause something else. Because responsibility gives you power. Victimness gives you no power.
Right. And you will, if you look for the good in a situation, if you go on a date or, and you look for the good in that person versus, oh, what's wrong with this one? You're going to find whatever you're looking for.
Right. And everybody, won't be the fit.
No.
But the point being is like when you're open and you can treat it as a game. And that's one of the biggest things that we talk about in the Back 40 is really starting to treat your second half like a game. Like little kids, when they got out on the field as a kid, they played and, they came in at halftime and the coach gave them some input and they played again. And at the end of the game, there was a score. Now, whether they quote won or lost, did the kids grow? Did they learn? Did they have fun? That's one of the things as we get into the second half is starting to lighten up, have it be a game versus the result.
Again, the takeaway is attitude. It is the attitude, if that's the biggest thing, at least from my point of view, that I want to get across. Because again, you whatever you look for, you're going to find.
Yeah, and I would just say, and our mantra in the Back 40 is, I think the ultimate second half attitude is you have yet to do what you came here to do. That means you've yet to have the relationship that you came here for. You have yet to have the career. You have yet to have the full self-expression. You have yet to have the health. Like all of that's still ahead. And if you can subscribe to that, then that pulls you forward, right?
Exactly. And for those that think, oh, this is just a bunch of bullshit, and yeah, right, that's never, just open up just a teeny bit. Just make it a possibility. You don't even have to believe, oh, yeah, just make it a possibility. Daryl, and on that, I look forward to having you back on our second act with Paige and Silka.
Thanks, Silke.